Hey, and welcome to What We Watch After Dark. I'm Nathan, or Midnight Joker,
I'm Jenny.
and tonight we are going to we watched Black Adam. Why don't we go ahead and roll that trailer?
Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but heartache.
I was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Over fire! War going. Now, I kneel before no one.
Going on outside when you ain't safe from.
In this world, there are heroes
I feel the pain in my city wherever I go.
and there are villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do. My vision has shown me the future. You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior. That's up to you.
Behind you!
Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a rocket. So, obviously, it's starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam.
Yes, and it has Pierce Brosnan playing Dr. Fate. The movie, to me, I guess a little backstory. A lot of people know this already, and so it's kind of redundant, but this movie took 12 years to make.
Yeah, a real long time to get off of the ground and get going.
And they spent so much money on it that even at top box office, it did not make back its money.
Yeah.
It fell short.
But, The Rock had a dream.
Well, I think that's a little bit of the problem. I think there were times I felt like his wrestling persona was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There were times that it's almost not fair because Black Adam is to be this bigger character, this, stronger, but I would say that the Justice Society played good characters. I do feel like Atom Smasher was, and which is funny, was a copy of Scott Lang in Ant-Man.
Right, kind of just tripping through his powers and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, oh, did I do that?
Yeah,
And shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, nah, we have an Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's not in your universe, but...
Right.
And the funny thing is I think the Atom came before Ant-Man. And so, in the comics...
Chronologically...
timeline of things,
gotcha,
DC invented Atom Smasher, and then they came up with that Ant-Man.
Well, don't they all have a bunch of very similar characters?
Well, they do, and Jack Kirby had worked for both Marvel and for DC.
One thing I liked was the Cyclone. When she was going through the air and turning and all the colors.
Yeah, they got her right.
I thought that was really pretty.
It really was.
And it was cool to watch.
It was, and actually made sense in what she did, which wasn't much, but
controlling the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, she's no Storm from X-Men, but
Well, and I don't ever, and I didn't get that inference from this character.
yeah.
Of a parallel. Mm-hmm. They got Dr. Fate wrong. They never. I mean, the thing is Dr. Fate comes in fighting for like the Lords of Order in the comics, and it's this whole thing. And then, I mean, his backstory has changed a lot, but this last one that was claiming it was from another universe or something, or another dimension. I didn't quite. I mean, that's. I'll have to go back and watch it for that reason, if I want to know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what do you think about Pierce Brosnan's performance, though?
I thought it was good to a degree. I think that his character uses an unk heavily in the art that they draw for the comics and everything, and I almost felt like they shied away from it, like it was a bad thing or whatever. I don't know, but it really, I mean, you finally see it on his chest
When he's in his outfit.
but even then, like, I remember from like actual like cartoons, him showing up, and the unk is that kind of, well, let's say it, Doctor Strange looking shield that Dr. Fate would put up. Mm-hmm. And so
he had up shields at different times during the movie, but they weren't like displaying the Ankh prevalently.
well, and the thing is it all has to do about like Lords of Order, and it was almost like they took the Dr. Fate story, like backstory, flipped it to Black Adam, and then, you know, but this movie unfortunately does not make a lot of sense. Now, Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam, there's a short that I suggest people go out and watch. It's a short cartoon, and it really does a good job of reintroducing Black Adam from a standpoint that the last time he was here, the Wizards sent him like way far into the galaxy.
Not down in a prison crypt tomb thing.
And that he's been flying back this whole time is kind of what pissed him off to begin with.
I see.
And, you know, not that...
I mean, because isn't Black Adam like a villain, technically?
Well, no. He's been known to be an anti-hero. And...
Aren't he and Shazam supposed to be like...
Well,
enemies?
yeah, I
And
mean...
Shazam's good, right?
Well, Shazam's a good guy, and Black Adam is his nemesis. Mm-hmm. And again, to skip all of Shazam's back history with the movies that they had, and to not, I mean, because I know that there's another Shazam movie. I think it comes out this Christmas, or did it already come out? Shazam 2.
No, I don't.
Okay, but anyway, you might look that up and see if it's out or not. But the point being is why wasn't Shazam there? Why wasn't he...
Well, I read that they talked about putting a Black Adam in Shazam 1 somewhere, just having him make an appearance, but they decided against it and really just wanted to wait until he had his own standalone movie. He was supposed to be in Suicide Squad as well and make an appearance there. That didn't happen. You know, so I don't know.
I feel like it's a passion project for Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, his production company definitely was one of the producers of the company, of the movie.
You know, but 12 years like that. And then, and I hate that I'm going to start dogging on some stuff now.
Yeah.
It felt like a video game at times. The CG... It reminded me a lot of the bad CG we saw in Wonder Woman, the first one. You know, and that whole third act was basically Wonder Woman, you know, him going after that King guy, but Wonder Woman had to do it on her own with the other guys. So I mean, he's a good cheerleader for or champion for his films, if you will. But again, using the word champion so often, and it, you know, it didn't quite, it wasn't quite making sense.
They need to have the "We are the champions, my friend."
I bet they couldn't afford it at this point.
Right. I mean, they did throw some different songs in there.
Yeah, but see, that's more. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy put an old 70s track on. Let's put an old 70s track on. There was so, and I wonder. It felt like there was a lot of people's hands in this cookie jar that wanted their name to be out there.
Yeah. You were talking about the CGI earlier. What did you think of having non-buff The Rock, like with The Rock's head?
Again, they didn't spend enough money. I mean, if it was going to take 12 years for this thing, he could have literally gotten down to that weight and built that muscle in 12 years.
Yeah, they got a different actor who put like the dots all over his face and then like transplant the head.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sickly. I mean, see, again, Captain America, right there. You know, I mean, I can name almost any scene in this movie connected to, you know, or is it reminds me of some other comic book movie.
Right.
Like I said, I think what got lost is the nostalgia for the character that really needs to be brought out. I mean, especially when you're introducing a character. And they were all over the place.
They were introducing a lot of characters, yeah.
Well, they were.
Except for Amanda Waller. We've seen her a lot.
Well, but that's just it. That was the only part that made sense to me.
Yeah, that she would want him
in
prison.
Well, I mean, even though, of course, Amanda Waller knows this. Of course, those things that we know because she's been in other shows slowly showing us that she pulls the fucking strings, man. And she's not jacking around. And see, she's one of my favorites out of the whole DC crew. But because of this, supposedly, Golden Cock's gone, Henry Cavill's gone, Ben Affleck's gone, Jason Momoa's gone. They're just restarting the whole thing. James Gunn is going to come in. I was very disappointed.
Well, did you have high hopes going into it?
Well, I wonder if because I always wait till we can get it on our streamer, you know, and it didn't get the best reviews.
Yeah, I would have been disappointed if I paid movie theater money to go see it.
Oh, yeah. I think I might walk out and say, "Can I see another movie, please?" I mean, if I was paying for it like that, shit ain't cheap, you know, and they showed too much of the monster. They showed too much of the monster. And what I mean by that is Black Adam is supposed to be part monster in this movie. I mean, he was already just killing like it was no business of an uneasiness and horror, and putting him out there so fast.
Yeah. They really did shy away from showing him in too much of a bad light. I mean, yeah, he was killing the dudes, but they were bad dudes.
Yeah, well...
the good guys killing the bad guys. I mean, that's...
I mean, they were using some of, in my opinion, God of War Kratos stuff. I mean, you know?
Right. I mean, and again, you know, it might be per comic book canon. I'm not a comic book expert, but
and neither am I. But I mean, I watch.
He seems like too overpowered. You know, like nothing can stop him.
Shazam, I know can stop him. especially if he has with Superman. Like I was saying when we were watching it, though, the problem is between the Superman fight and the Black Adam fight is Superman is hurt by magic. All of Black Adam's magic and Shazam's magic, our strength and speed and all that, comes from magic. So Superman is susceptible to that. Mm-hmm. It's another weakness that they came up with in the...
Yeah, because Superman was overpowered too.
Well, I mean, he had kryptonite,
Yeah.
And at least he had kryptonite. And I think that...
It seemed like he couldn't, like, get through the Eternium shield, and the Eternium missile kind of gave him a little scratch. So maybe Eternium is his weakness? I don't know.
But even so, it didn't make a lick of sense. I mean, because he just went, oh, let me help you patch that up. And it was like, okay.
Right.
We're not even going to have a MASH moment, are we?
And like when he was fighting the big bad guy, he had his little red marks on him.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean... And the bad guy, the name we can't speak because we don't know it,
His crown that they were after for half of the freaking movie.
Mr., Horn Man.
Right.
I mean, it really was at times like I thought I was watching a video game between DC characters where they fight each other. And right. I was like,
And fight.
And it was like, in that point, I've seen better in video games, I want to say. And it just, I think, one of the... Now, reaching for shots that I did like how they put him in perspective with the statue. Mm-hmm. Really almost finally minimizing him a little bit. Like you said, the Whirlwind Girl was awesome.
Cyclone, yeah.
Yeah, Cyclone was awesome.
Her name.
And the thing about Birdman, or not Birdman, don't get me going.
Hawkman?
No, Hawkman is his story, at least one version I've heard of before, was that he reincarnates when he dies. And it's him and his lover that are meant to spend eternity trying to find each other. Mm-hmm. Some lives they do, some lives they don't. Yeah. And they really could have wrapped this into that whole Egypt thing if they wanted to.
Yeah, because, they were going to have, like, a hawk girl, and then they cut her out.
Well, and the point of it is that their love is part of their strength.
It's eternal.
It's eternal.
Oh.
But again, you had two characters that could feasibly be back in the time when Black Adam was there, just reincarnations. But supposedly part of their power is once they get close enough to each other, one of them always remembers, and the other one just is kind of like, do-do-do, I don't know how it exactly works, but my point being is the writing in this, it just felt like somebody was like, well, I'm going to take this. I saw something cool the other day, and I'm going to make sure that happens in the movie. And you can't do movies like that.
Oh, I will say, as far as I don't know if this is how it was shot or what, I thought there was too much slow motion. Seems like every scene there was like... I'm like, okay, we get it. He can shoot lightning.
Well, and
doesn't need to be in slow mo.
It's got to be closer to the face this time. Superman zips in there. He's this far. We got to get him this close this time. And it's
he catches the bullet. It makes. I get for Flash purposes because Flash is going so much faster than everybody else. It seems to him like everybody's in slow motion.
Or, kind of a bullet time. And I even understand Superman, because Superman's that fast, too. Actually, the Flash is much faster. He lets Superman win sometimes.
Oh, that's sweet.
But again, like I said, I think they did a disjustice to the film by pulling these characters that if you haven't, I mean, if you're not at least an avid television watching fan,
Oh yeah, because I mean they've
you're
shown
not
up in
gonna-
different DC television shows.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Fate's eyes didn't light up till the very end, and nobody was wearing it. I was like, what? No, that when his eyes glow, you're like, oh shit, that's a samurai moment, baby.
That's when stuff's about to go
tink.
down.
That's all I'm saying. You know, a little tink tink. Anyway, so unfortunately, I say it's if you want to just knock it off the list of another comic book movie.
Yeah. You know, in DC they don't have a ton.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, because they've been bought now.
Right. You know, they're not Marvel pushing out how many, like 3 or 4 a year or whatever.
Well,
But, you know, and if you have HBO Max, it's included.
yeah, that's where we watched it tonight. Kind of wrapping things up now. We had our first write-in,
Yeah.
and
Thank you so much for commenting.
yes, and I am going to be watching Willow Creek, which was Jason's suggestion. I so appreciate it.
And
Now, if you have a suggestion, you can also either write it in the comments or you can email us at whatwewatchafterdark@gmail.com. So if you could like, subscribe,
comment.
you know, do those things, you'd make an old man happy.
And we'd so much appreciate it.
Yes, we would. But thank you for watching.
Yes. Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed the show. So, love ya!